Hey, what's up everyone, and welcome to Open Mic Live Show number 5. My name is Frankie Cena, I'm your presenter, and I cannot wait to see tonight's performers. We have 24 acts tonight who are each going to perform, and our priority acts are going to receive feedback from our judges. At the end of the night, our judges will choose some to move on directly to the next round, and their second favorites will each receive some extra votes. At that point, you can also vote for your favorite if they haven't been chosen to move on to the semifinals of Open Mic. So let's get started by meeting our judges. A&R for Sony, Thames TV, and Future Music, Chris Grayston. International vocal coach, mentor, and owner of Vocal Ovation Studio, Julie Miles. And A&R at Polydor Records Universal, Leon Haynes. Thank you, judges. Our first performer of the night is Lil Jaheim.
It's been a crazy year though, but we're still here. Thanks to all the frontline workers.
1, 2, 3.
It started as an epidemic, now it's all gone wrong, it is a pandemic. Give credit to the medic, they are doing it. Night after night of chaos, getting on with it. 6 foot space is a perfect place. Go get the app for the track and trace. It's the hand washing, get something unsafe. COVID is a fight for the human race. Hands, face, face. Come on. Hands, face, face. Come on now. Hands, face, face. Come on. Hands, face, face. Yeah. I know they say education is the key, but now education is so difficult for we. It takes a lot in this isolation. Getting qualification is not inspiration. Frontline workers, you're amazing. Giving all chipmunks a lot of grazing. Now wait to see the back of COVID-19. We have to try and keep our hands clean. Hands, face, face. Come on. Hands, face, face. Come on. Hands, face, face. Come on. Hands, face, face. Yeah.
All we can do is start our nose and mouth. Got to believe everything will work out. Helping out each other, to be best apart. Healing start when we are smart.
Monday to Friday, online, great education, gold mine. Saturday to Sunday, free time, trying to get through this hard time.
Our next performer is Karina.
Lay by me, hold me tight, say those 3 words I need to hear them tonight. Please don't stop telling me that you're here for me. Tell me honestly, 'cause no one ever wants to hear what I say. All they do is just look the other way. Oh no, they're never here to stay. But I know you
14-year-old Rose.
How many times have we been here in the place that we are now? And just how broken are the vows I thought to leave? You still remain unsaid. You claim to love me still, but that's not what things are meant. You said that I leave you, now it's so. Don't really care, I have to go. So there's no use trying to lie. Who are we fooling but ourselves? With all of these truths that we don't tell, and nothing else to goodbye. Assignment to give, next it might be two. I can't say this tension so disappearance what I do, and I try my best to hold on to permanence of us. You didn't do the same. Now all we had is hope of loss. You said that I leave you, now it shows. Don't really care, I have to go. So there's no use trying to lie. Who are we fooling but ourselves? With all these truths that we don't tell, and nothing else to goodbye. What have we reached?
This is Stacy.
Oh, it hurts the most 'cause I don't know the cause. Maybe I shouldn't have cried when you left and told me not to wait. Oh, it kills the most to say that I still care. Now I'm left trying to rewind the time you held and kissed me back. I wonder if you're thinking, is she alright all alone? I wonder if you tried to call but couldn't find your phone. Have I ever crossed your thought? Because your name's all over mine. A moment in time, don't watch me cry. A moment in time, don't watch me cry. I'm not crying 'cause you left me on my own. I'm not crying 'cause you left me with no warning. I'm just crying 'cause I can't escape what could have been. Are you aware when you set me free?
Our last performer of this set is Georgina Sweet.
There is a difference between reality and pretend. You'll only know that difference when you reach the end. Sometimes you feel like giving up. It's so worth it in the end. You knock me down, but I get up stronger and stronger. I try my best, you say I don't like it. You're a liar. You say I can't make it, but I know that I can. I'm made of steel. I'm made of steel, and you can't break me. You don't know what's on the road ahead. There will be a few things that you might regret. Sometimes you feel like giving up. It's so worth it in the end. You knock me down, but I get up stronger and stronger.
Thank you very much to our first set of performers for Open Mic Live Show number 5. Let's hear what the judges say, starting with Chris.
What a good start. 4 out of 5 doing originals for the under 18s. Really loving that. It's exactly what the competition is all about. See what you are, see what you can do. good engagement as well, really socking to the audience, and in particular Georgina there really engaging with us. I felt visually perhaps you were a little bit far away to start with, and then obviously you started to perform. I thought, okay, I get that. Perhaps you didn't need the mic stand in the way. So I thought perhaps you just didn't quite get that aspect right. But I really like the fact that you did an original, like the fact you brought the performance element to it. But maybe by the fact that you were performing, maybe it would have been better to create some space rather than almost forcing some instruments around you when actually it was more focused on your performance. But other than that, superstar, and great to see the originals. Pleased with that.
Thank you, Chris. Julie.
Yes, yet again we've got a really, really strong start from the unders, and it's lovely to see familiar names come up that that we remember from the first rounds. In terms of our priority acts, so we had Georgina, and I do remember Georgina from the last round. So great that you brought us an original. I would say in terms of the original, it was kind of, it was maybe a bit of a simple, repetitive melody. However, I definitely heard a hook. Totally agree in terms of the staging. It did just seem a little bit, I felt a bit disconnected from you. There seemed to be a lot going on in the background, and I think that kind of attempt to maybe make it look like a live stage feel just made it feel a little bit, I think it exaggerated the fact that you were singing in a room. So I think maybe a little bit more focus on the staging. Vocally, there's a really, really nice tone there. And I would just say, just watch your diction, Georgina. It's a little bit soft at times, just a little bit slurry. And also some of your vocal control, I feel that there needs to be just a little bit more control and smoothness. It felt just a little bit clunky sometimes as you were transitioning up to the higher range. Nevertheless, a really, really strong start. And again, great that you're bringing us original music. Well done.
Thank you, Julie and Leon.
Yeah, just adding on, I guess, to Georgina's suite. Yeah, it was a good performance. I like the way you presented yourself. It came across as good stage presence. And I really respect the fact that you utilize your space effectively. Yeah, I agree with the other judges that early on it kind of looked like he was a bit distant from the camera, and also it felt a little, just slightly cluttered, just around the background. But I can understand, obviously, you're trying to create the live segments, so you definitely got the right thinking in that part. And I guess for me, on the vocal, I felt like there was a few notes that were just slightly a little bit flat or sharp, to be honest. So I guess that's something that you could do with some tweaking, so whether that's some coaching or just working on your runs and your scales on the piano, just so you're kind of hitting those notes, a bit more precisely. That would go some way to help. But yeah, you definitely got a nice tone. Just need to kind of tighten up on the notes that you're hitting.
Thank you, Leon. Our next performer in the under 18 category is Millie.
Sure, like a piano piece I could hum along to you all day. Do you think?
Next up, we have Grace.
And night when the stars light up my room, I sit by myself, talking to the moon, trying to get to you. In hopes you're on the other side, talking to me too. Or am I a fool who sits alone, talking to the moon? Hey, every time you hear me calling, hey.
Here is Tina Keat.
Isn't she lovely? Isn't she wonderful? Isn't she precious? Less than 1 minute old. I never thought through love we'd be making one as lovely as she. But isn't she lovely? Made from love. Isn't she pretty? Truly the angel's best. Boy, I'm so happy. We have been heaven blessed. I can't believe what God has done. Through us He's given life to one. But isn't she lovely? Made from love. Do 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 do.
We have one of our judges' choices, Ree.
Oh no, Mississippi in the middle of a dry spell. Jimmy Rogers on the picture up high. Mama's dancing with baby on her shoulder. The sun is setting like molasses in the sky. The boys sing you how to move everything. Always wanting more. He leave you longing for. But like velvet in that little voice and mouth. But like velvet in that slow southern style. A new religion that'll bring your knees. But like velvet if you please. Up in Memphis, the music's like a heat wave. White lightning's bound to drive you wild. Mom's baby's in the heart of every schoolgirl. Love me tender, leave some crying in the eye.
Our last under 18 performer is Ava Beth.
What doesn't kill you makes you wish you were dead. I got a hole in my soul going deeper and deeper, and I can't take one more moment of this silence. The loneliness is haunting me, and the weight of the world's getting harder to hold us. It comes in waves. I close my eyes, hold my breath and let it bury me. I'm not okay and it's not alright. Won't you drag the lake and bring me home again? Who will fix me now? Dive in when I'm down. Save me from myself. Don't let me drown. Who will make me fight? Drag me out alive. Save me from myself. Don't let me drown. Don't let me drown. Don't let me drown.
Well, that concludes our under 18 category for this show. Let's see what the judges have to think of some of those singers, starting with Julie.
So we didn't have any priority acts in that round, but I think it's just worth pointing out at this stage, and it's probably me repeating myself, but we are still looking for the same elements that we would if we were actually watching people at a live show, to a degree. The things that we are still looking for are things like some attention to image. So I would say the ones that are kind of sitting in hoodies or sitting on the sofa, or we did appreciate that obviously there was an ankle injury for Ava Beth. But yeah, anybody who hasn't really put the right amount of effort, I would say, into just creating some sort of a standout, memorable image and some creativity into their surroundings, they could be losing marks for that. Because, you know, this competition is not just about having a brilliant singing voice. That is super important, but it is about us being able to see that all of the elements about, you know, becoming an artist are starting to come together. So whilst I do know there will be disappointed people who have done some really, really great covers, sang beautifully, if you're not ticking all of the boxes to a degree, then you are definitely going to lose marks. I did just want to give a shout out to Ree. You did a cover, you didn't do a great deal different with that cover, but what I really, really loved was you absolutely owned that performance from start to finish. So very, very engaging into the camera. Really, really wish you'd either done something super creative with that cover or you'd done an original. But yeah, something about you, you've definitely got that star quality. So keep at it, but get some original music out there.
Thank you, Julie. Leon.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's been very talented artists, you know, that we're having performing. You know, and as Julie said, you know, it's always amazing to hear like great vocal ability and great vocal talents. But obviously a priority is, you know, for originality, original acts basically. And ideally it's always great to hear original songs. However, you know, that in mind, if you're not at that point yet, you know, you're not strong enough, it is probably better for you to, you know, think about a unique way of delivering a cover. So, you know, don't literally just copy and paste and do the exact same thing, but find something that, you know, about the cover that resonates to you. And that leads to the next point I'm making, is that think about your song choices as well. You know, why are you performing this song? What's the meaning behind that? And are you conveying it? And, you know, whether it's an original song you're performing or if it's a cover, that will determine, you know, the presentation and the overall framing and format that you're going to be delivering that song in. And I guess I would just, you know, give, you know, a bit of a shout out to Grace Coulson. You know, again, amazing voice, you know, visuals look cool, you know, but it would have been really good to have heard you perform over an original song. But as I said, if that's not the strong point, then, you know, all respect to you for, you know, attempting to do something. But I guess just going ahead, just think about making things as unique to you as possible, so we get some idea of, you know, your identity as well.
Thank you, Leon and Chris.
Yeah, I think this is raising some really interesting points here. Obviously, Julie has made the point that some could have really upped their game with the performance and the visual aspect around it. Of course, the other aspect of us giving marks is obviously for doing an original or creative cover. So there's this group on the large, or accepted that Millie did an original, is that you're missing marks on both those fronts. So you're already way behind the possible marks that you could be getting if you did an original or creative cover. And we talked about this in countless different episodes of looking at other footage. If you're struggling to how to do a creative cover, go to the website, how to perform a creative cover, type that in, and you will have a whole raft of articles there that will help you to achieve that. And better still, start to write your own stuff. So, you're really hanging yourself out on just going through on your vocal. And I think at this stage of the competition, that just isn't enough, I don't think. And there's some exceptional vocals in that section. Grace has been mentioned by Leon and also Rio. There were some exceptional vocals in there, but you're lagging behind in other areas. So you're going to make it tough for the wrong reasons for us tonight. Whereas actually, if you made more effort in terms of the performance and more effort in terms of the creative and who you are as an artist, you would certainly have made it very, very much more difficult for us not to put you through if indeed you don't go through.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, judges. I think it's going to be very hard to choose our under 18 performers tonight. But now we move on to the over 18 category, starting with Dave Anthony.
What do you need to be a man for all seasons? I'll tell you all. You need a soul you haven't taken, a soul that's gone for sea.
From Scotland, it's Stephanie.
I feel the night explode when we're together. Emotion overload in the heat of pleasure. Take me, I'm yours, into your arms. Never let me go. Tonight I really need to know. Tell it to my heart. Tell me I'm the only one. Is this really love or just a game? Tell it to my heart. I can feel my body rock every time you call my name. The passion so complete, it's never ending. As long as I receive the message you're sending, body to body, soul to soul, always feel you need.
Next up, BB Phoenix.
Once you were here in front of me, now you're gone. Transmuted into energy, now you're gone. Living life the way I see, now you're gone. It's more important how I feel, now you're gone, now you're gone. For once, sitting here still waiting, now you're gone. Wondering where I belong, now you're gone.
you're gone. It's all so quick, I miss you. Now you're gone, now you're gone. Oh, gone, away from me, out of sight. I feel you, I know you're not far, but just for now, you're gone, all gone. Dragonfly has taken flight, now you're gone. Blue is eyes flashing sight, now you're gone. Promises I made to you.
Here is Ellie Burke.
Why can't I see what everyone else sees? All they ever say is that it's just me. I'm scared every time I put my fingers down my throat. The devil's inside, couldn't come on mine into my brain and down through my spine, and it controls me. Why can't you help me? Even though I hate it, tell me I need it, and it controls me. Why can't you help me? Even though I hate it, tell me I need it. I can't survive without my nutrition. My mind's put me in a bad position. Getting healthy is my mission.
Our next performer is Sophie.
Little like I equal me. What would I do without the weight of you? Funeral singers wail, charity fails. Whose child are you now? The lighthouse keeper, grace and lips spread like a fox stood in the weather and prayed for a punch, but doesn't take the jump again tonight. The book is aching for the dream. Return to me. Oh, all my friends, all my friends, all my friends are weeds and rain. All my friends are half-gone birds and magnets. All my friends are words. All my friends are funeral singers, funeral singers.
Next up, we have Saul.
How come when I got the ace of hearts, you always got the ace of spades? How's it when your best friend buys you lilies on your birthday? How come? How come? Well, I ain't superstitious, but with these things I've seen now, how come? How come? I ain't a superstitious fella, but it worries me. How come when the local clergy calls, he tells me that he shouldn't wear black? What kind of bread are you gonna bake with that hemlock's in your spice rack? Now how come? How come? Well, I ain't superstitious, but with these things I've seen now, how come? How come? I ain't a superstitious fella, but it worries me.
from Manchester, it's HRC.
Lying in the cloud, you can see the other side where it's gonna rain all day. It's time for you to decide what you're gonna do with your life. And the side you're on, you'll stay. And you can't help but feeling all stressed out. The pressure building filled with so much doubt, and no one's there for you to decide what you want. Right or wrong, you can't see what's going on, cause you're looking too close. Gotta take 2 steps back, get a perspective that you lack to really know which way to go. And you can't help but feeling all stressed out. The pressure building filled with so much doubt, and no one's there for you to decide what you want. What do you want? What do you want? Why can't you see in front of your eyes? What do you want? What do you want? Better open your mind to decide. What do you want? What do you want? Throw in the sky, doesn't care where it flies. It just gets to where it feels like home. Gotta do just that. Don't overthink on which path, or you're stuck with nowhere to go.
Thank you to our first set of over 18 performers. Definitely the most memorable background we've had, I think, on open mic. But let's see what the judges think, starting with Leon.
Yeah, definitely. It's always interesting to see, what each performer is going to come with, to be honest. I'm always excited to see what each video is going to look like. And it was definitely a good variety of talents there, and really refreshing to see people, doing unique takes and videos, and really finding their sound. But yeah, for this section, we got Dave Anthony as our first priority act, asking for feedback. I mean, so from my perspective, I think, thumbs up to you, like, for writing an original song. It's a great attempt, to be honest, and it sounded like you had the basis of, what could potentially be a good song in the works. I feel like it still needs a little bit of development. And unfortunately, I think your vocals were a little bit lost in mainly the background percussion. I think you had some kind of a percussive instrument in the background, and it became a little bit distracting. But, I liked, how you presented yourself, the image, felt right for the type of music. And actually, I appreciated, the sound, your actual almost indie rock type of style, but I just think the levels were just a little bit off balance, and it sounded a little bit noisy, I'm afraid. And then BB Phoenix, again, on first thoughts, I thought, your framing and presentation was lacking a little bit of, I guess, effort for this far in the competition. It would have been good to see a bit more in that area, and also the room seemed a bit dimly lit as well, so that didn't really help. But I thought the prop use of the mic was a good touch, and there were some definite cool elements in your song. I think definitely something to revisit and maybe try to restructure, because I heard a few parts of the song that sounded like cool hooks and loops that maybe could be turned into something a bit more engaging, I would say. But other than that, it resonated with me. Obviously, I felt like the song meant something to you, but I think definitely work on actually, the delivery, and just making sure that, the structure falls in line with actually the message we're trying to convey too.
Thank you, Leon. Chris.
Well, then, any acts want to see a bit of creativity around a video? I think certainly going to HRC was a great show. I really thought about that. Don't know how he got the pigeons all to stay evenly as he did, but hats off to him for that. Really enjoyed it, very engaging, and didn't detract too much away from him. Our priority acts in that section, Dave Anthony, I think Leon's giving me some really good feedback there. It just sounded way too crowded. I think there's always a danger of having a backing track or some instrumentation and then playing the guitar and vocally, but the vocal didn't cut through. You couldn't really hear what you were saying, so it's very hard to distinguish between that. So I would have really worked out and listened back to my recordings and made sure that my vocal was really cutting through on that. So that was a real issue with the sound levels, I feel. And BB Phoenix, obviously felt that was a very heartfelt performance. it was a little bit difficult to completely engage with it because it felt a little bit repetitive, and as a song maybe didn't have enough of a hook to really kind of grab me. It felt heartfelt, but you know, maybe there was a little bit of lacking of the synergy between the song and what it was about and putting a tracksuit on. I don't know. So it could have been a bit more well thought out. I think you should have got straight in with the performance and like going face on to really convey the message of that song as well. So there was a bit of continuity between that image and that performance and the song and its message as well. And I think he could have just worked a little harder to get that a little bit more clearer.
Thank you, Chris. Julie.
So overall a bit disappointed that we had so many covers, particularly because we had guitarists there as well. And I just think, you know, in this category, if you can play guitar and you can play guitar well and you can sing, you should be able to put something together in terms of originality. Anyway, we have said that a lot, but that is what it's all about. We will keep repeating ourselves. We had two priority acts, obviously, Dave and BB Phoenix. You know, Dave, I really appreciated the effort. You know, I spoke about people putting effort in to being part of a competition and having people view their videos. So I really do feel that you put the effort there. You know, you framed yourself in front of a big bay window. You know, it was a really nice angle to be filmed and so on. I thought, you know, really great playing. I thought the percussion was great, but like the other judges have said, it did kind of take over the vocals a little bit too much. You know, I do think you know yourself. I do think this is your kind of niche. I think you found where you want to be as an artist. And like I say, I just appreciate from you that you've come in on votes. So, you know, you've rallied people together to vote for you. You've requested feedback. It does sound like you really, really care about your artistry. So I would say just, you know, keep at it. Definitely work on those vocals. You know, it would be worth you actually working with a vocal coach, even if it was just for a couple of sessions, just to brush up on some technique that maybe was there and has been lost, or maybe you just, you know, you've never had that kind of professional coaching. But yeah, really, really appreciated you as an act. BB Phoenix, I think you actually threw me a bit with your introduction about the you know, about what the song was about. I think I was expecting something very, very different, and I was expecting something quite emotional and heartfelt. And so that kind of, yeah, there was a bit of a curveball there, because I feel like you were doing a bit more of a, you know, a commercial, it could have been quite a kind of commercial dance track almost, because of the repetition. And, you know, obviously because of the topic, like I say, I think it just threw me. But I think as an artist, there's something there. You really do put me in the mind of some, you know, acts that were out kind of in the late 80s. Lena Lovitch, Gary Newman, there was that kind of element about it. I would definitely just put some work into those vocals. If you are going to, you know, pursue this, a little bit shaky and just felt a little bit hollow at times and in need of control. But I think there is something, yeah, I think you've got a formula that's coming to light, but I just think a little bit of work on just gelling all of that together.
Thank you, Julie. Thank you, judges. We have one set of performers left for this show, starting with Grace.
Let's go. There's a light in the dark that you saw in your heart. All it needs is a spark to arise. Come alive from the cobwebs and dust. In ourselves we will trust, no regrets. Don't forget to be true to the voice inside you. It's your choice to be real or conceal. Choose the path you will take, it will show you your fate, yeah, yeah. I don't wanna be the one who loved, I just wanna be the one who lived. I don't wanna have a broken heart, I just
just wanna shine in the dark. And I feel love, and I feel love. So I won't rush, no I won't rush. It's about time now that we tore this apart from the inside and out. Time to rise and to shine from the cold and unknown to the truth that is known. So with pride we make strides down the path of the light, trying to do what's right when we fall.
Our next performer is Richard Roxwell.
Tell me a moment I didn't think of you. Feels like I've known you all this time. Hold me close to when we first arrived in that tired eyes. Still dreaming for a few lifetimes, but I don't worry. I'm still waiting for the stars to align, and if I seem in a hurry, we've still got so much left to find. From time to time, I think of you and the things you do. By riverside or candlelight.
Here is Karina.
She was lost in so many different ways, out in the darkness with no guide. I know the cost over losing hands, never thought the grace of God. I found heaven on earth. You are my last, my first, and then I hear his voice inside. I've been alone when I'm surrounded by friends. How could the silence be so loud? But I still go home, knowing that I got you. There's only us when the lights go down. You are my heaven on earth.
It's Alex Riley.
Remember when we were younger? It wasn't so long ago. We were there for each other. We said we'd never let go. So just
next performer is Farah.
I had visions of my life not matching with the present. Came clean with myself, got neglected. I had visions of my life not matching with the present. Blood lines, deep scars where you left them. Right where you left them, yeah. Creep with that woman right there by your side. I am back to life, 6 in the morning, pocket car out of sight. But I'm not enough for you. Will you come see me when she wanna be through? Come to me, mama. And there's a reason she don't know where you are. I'm the reason, boy. Go ahead and tell a boy when you say what you say. Make me promises daily. Hopes for a better life, hopes for a better living. No ties, green light, no resentment.
Here is Sagat.
Who knows where you are? Chasing dreams like shooting stars and away from solid ground. I'd like to see what you have found and fall into the surface, cushioned as you land into the clouds. Now cycling round in circles and round again till you lose count. I wish that I could see the magic. I want to see the world like you, and show me where to find your planet, and take me back to my youth. Oh, you're running round the fountain, no cares for the eyes.
Our last performer of the night is Danny Maria.
I'm on an island, even when we're close. Can't take the silence, I'd rather be alone. I think it's pretty plain and simple, we gave it all we could. It's time I wave goodbye from the window. Let's end this like we should and say we're good. We're not meant to be like sleeping and cocaine. So let's at least agree to go our separate ways. I'm not gonna judge you when you're with somebody else, long as you swear you won't be pissed when I do it myself. Let's end this like we should. Now you're holding this against me like I knew you would. I'm trying my best to make this easy, so don't give me that look, just say we're good. We're not meant to be like sleeping and cocaine. So let's at least agree to go our separate ways. I'm not gonna judge you when you're with somebody.
That concludes show 5 of Open Mic. We had 7 singers in that act and 3 priority acts. Let's hear what the judges think, starting with Chris.
Well, I think I used my full range of marks there. I saw maybe a potential winner of the competition there, and also heard some that simply hadn't watched any of the shows before. It's almost like they've not known what they've entered, they have no idea what the competition's about. and that's a bit of a shame, really, because you've made the effort to obviously put yourself on in front of an audience, in front of judges, in front of the public, and you maybe wasted that opportunity because you could have benefited so much more from our feedback rather than kept it at such a almost like a basic level. And I felt Karina and Danny was pretty much the same thing for both of you. It's like the competition's all about originality. You do a nailed on cover. It's not even that creative of a cover. As I said, just watch any of the shows and you'd have heard us say week in, week out, competition's about original. Want to find you as an artist, want to find how you are. Look at the website, look at a load of articles, and we could have been saying so much different about you if you'd had at least given it a go, at least tried to make something different, change the tempo, sung a male song instead of a female, whatever, just to make it something different and something unique. And so I just felt it's a bit of a wasted opportunity, and we could have been talking about so many different things. Richard, our other priority act, felt it was a little bit drowned out by the guitar, I'll be honest. I could see where you're coming from with it. I think the vocal could do with strengthening, but the main thing would have been to work on the guitar dynamics to really drive something through. But you felt you were a little bit drowned out, and Julie might elaborate on that a little bit more, how you could really have strengthened up your vocal to really have perched through a little bit more, but you kind of drowned yourself out a little bit with the guitar there, which is a bit of a shame. And aside all of that, we had some moments of real brilliance in that group. So it's going to be an interesting one at the end of the results today.
Thank you, Chris. Julie?
Yes, like Chris, I had a vast array of marking there, and yeah, so I'm going to dive straight in and talk about Richard. Just following on from what Chris was saying about the vocal and the reasons why it might have been being drowned out and so on. I just found that camera angle right from the get-go was it completely threw me, because the angle was always looking at yourself on the screen, and I just feel that didn't give you any opportunity to even get into the vocals, to really get into the story and phrasing, dynamics and emotion. I just felt like there was so much focus on like, where am I standing and can the camera see me? And I think even if you weren't able to work out how to actually look into the camera lens, I think if you just kind of accepted that the camera was there and you could still have just performed it in just a more natural and engaging way, that would have been so much better. Because I think you've got a nice vocal. I think it would have given it so much more emphasis. And I think the song, it was definitely going somewhere. I felt like it was building. I felt like it could be commercial. But I think there's just work now, Richard, into just making yourself more of an artist, more memorable, stand out more. And as Chris has so often said, there's so many. Look back at all of the videos of other people. Learn by their mistakes, learn by their triumphs. Watch all of the brilliant material that gets posted on Open Mic and Future Music, because it's absolutely invaluable. You've asked for feedback, so you must want to develop, and there's so many other ways to develop. So, and then Karina. So, I just think, again, back to this song choice. If you are going to do a cover because you absolutely love it so much, then at least bring something of yourself to it. Show us why you really, really love it. I think, picking a well-known Beyonce song is always going to be risky. And, without being detrimental to your voice, your voice isn't a big Beyonce voice. It is definitely, whilst you do have a really lovely voice, it's still kind of, I would say, quite small and under development. And if you are going to do a cover, I would suggest that you do something really, really well known, but then choose an acoustic. Make it smaller, make a big song much, much smaller to really, really match your voice. And then back to what I've been saying right the way through this particular show is, image. If you are serious about being noticed in the industry, you have to pay attention to your image. And I don't see that with a singing a Beyonce song with a big thick sweater on. So just I don't mean to sound harsh, but this there's some simple little things that will change your performance completely. And then Danny, for me, as soon as I saw you on the screen, I remembered you from last time. I actually do think visually you kind of scream originality. You had a guitar in the background, and then you announced that you were doing a Dua Lipa cover. And even though your vocal has got some really, really interesting textures and tones, and you stand well and you look confident, I just don't think it's enough. It's just not enough now at this stage of the competition. When you clearly have been doing this for some time, it's not enough to just come on and do a cover. So show us that you have got that originality if you do manage to make it through to the next round.
Thank you, Julie and Leon.
Yeah, definitely a mixed bag, so to speak. Yeah, I mean, most of the other judges have pretty much covered quite a few good points. There's a lot of great feedback for the priority acts, in this segment. I mean, Richard Roxwell, cool sound, classic rock, I didn't feel like there was much distinction about it for it to be memorable to me to say, no, that was Richard, and I guess that's a good point as well, is, whatever it needs to be in a song, just find something that's distinctively representative of who you are as a person. So while, I felt like, yeah, there was a good sound to it. I think, there's some work still to be done there, just in terms of finding your identity and just developing your sound a little bit more so it stands out, amongst everything else that's happening. With Karina, I'm not sure. I don't feel like, again, at this stage of the competition, that it didn't appear that enough effort was made just in terms of your overall performance. It appeared to be just kneeling down in the front row with a sweater on kind of thing. And, it didn't seem like there was too much effort put into that. And I'm not too sure if that referred or implied that you're not so fast, or maybe that you are very fast, but you're just not so confident to show it. And sometimes that can be an issue as well. Lack of self-belief can cause people to hold back on their true selves because they're, maybe a bit afraid of being, judged or critiqued. But, the lesson to be learned here, I guess, is you just got to go all the way, basically. Whatever you're doing, whatever moment it is, whether it's an audition, a semi-final or quarter-final, whatever it will be, you've always got to bring your A game, because you never know when or if that moment will come back again. So that's just a note going ahead. And with Danny, again, you've definitely got some stage presence. You've got a persona about you, and I felt like it was a good performance. But doing a cover song, it almost it was an opportunity lost for you, to be honest. I think it was a great chance for you to actually show who you are as an artist. I guess it's good to use covers just to kind of show variation in your style, but ultimately it always comes back to actually who you are and what can you bring to the table as a performer. And I'm not sure that this particular performance really did that for you, I'm afraid.
Thank you, Leon. Thank you, judges. It's time to find out who's moving on to the next round and who is going to receive some additional votes. Let's hear from the judges. We'll begin with the judges' second choices, each receiving 75 votes. We'll start with Chris.
Well, a lot of hotly debated because there were some really, really fine acts there, and has to be said, just by the skin of your teeth, you get 75 votes. But next round, it's got to be original, it's got to be a creative cover, but what a fantastic potential this act has got. So 75 votes for me is Grace Coulson.
Thank you, Chris. Julie.
And this act did bring us an original. He'd clearly put his time to good use under lockdown, which he did last time because he had us all singing along to his last song. What was it? Hands, face. Anyway, Little Jaheim, well done. You get my 75 votes.
Yes, he's definitely a catchy artist. Congratulations, Little Jaheim. And Leon.
Yeah, again, another really good artist, another original song, lovely delivery. So we'll be excited to see more of her in the future. This will be 75 points going to Ellie Burke. Well done.
Thank you, Leon. It's time to find out the 3 judges' choices moving directly to the semifinals, starting with Chris.
Well, this particular artist has really thought about visually and how they set up, and probably one of the best we've seen so far. I'm very keen to see what animal is going to be brought in the background next time. Hopefully not pigeons again. It's HRC going automatic through to the semi-finals.
Congratulations, HRC. Julie.
And yet again, an original winning the day. This particular artist we really think has got huge potential. So really, really well done, Karina. We can't wait to see what you're going to bring us to the semis.
Thank you, Julie and Leon.
Yeah, and final place goes to a really cool artist. You know, she had a really great look. Song sounded great, good production as well. So really exciting to see, you know, what more she can bring to the table. But ultimately going through is going to be Farah.
Thank you, Leon. Congratulations to all of our performers. We are halfway through the live shows. We have 5 more to go to find out who is moving on to the semifinals of Open Mic. Make sure you vote for your favorite contestant if they were not chosen. And we'll see you next time for show 6. Hi everyone, I'm Frankie Cena and this is Open Mic Live Show 6. Our contestants have worked very hard to get here tonight, either through voting or by being one of the judges' choices, and tonight we have 24 acts. But it's a special night because all of our contestants are over 18 contestants, so the bar should be pretty high. Everyone's going to perform. Our priority acts are going to receive some feedback from the judges, and at the end of the night, the best performers will move on directly to the semifinals, and the second best performers will receive some extra votes. At that point, you can vote for your favorite to move on as well. Before we meet the singers, let's meet the judges. A&R for Sony, Thames TV, and Future Music, Chris Grayston. International vocal coach, mentor, and owner of Vocal Ovation Studio, Julie Miles. And A&R at Polydor Records, Universal, Leon Haynes. Thank you, judges. Our first performer of the night is Abby.
There's a lot to see. Most I just walk by and some of it is alright. I'm looking intently. I know it's gonna be a good night. I could search the whole city, yeah, yeah, yeah. They ain't nothing like you. Why'd I keep on looking at your body pressed against the glass? I don't know why I'm looking. No, you didn't ask. Those red lights, dim lights, got me feeling some type of way all night. That's right. Didn't know I could find you until today. In the nightlight, that's nice. You make me feel like I could stay. Why'd I keep on looking at your body, baby?
He wooed the judges in round one. Here's Mason the Healer.
I've been trying to get away, maybe get away from me. So I tried to move forward. Oh, the river runs so deep. I drown, then I'm free falling. All I long for now is peace. All I long for now is peace. I can hear them waves calling, where it feels like I am home. I can see that sun rising, and I know that we have hope. I can hear the waves falling, tell me how life ebbs and flows. I can see that sun dawning, save me from my darkened soul. God is love, God is love. God is love, God is love. God is love, God is love. God is love. God is love, God is love. God is love. God is love, God is love. God is love. I can hear the waves calling. Oh, they're calling my name.
Next up is Joe Treacy.
1, 2, 3, 4. She thinks I talk too much. I think she just lost touch. I think we talk enough. She thinks I think I don't know how I feel, but I think I'm pretty close. It's right beneath my nose. But you don't gotta tell me if I'm doing wrong. I'll work it out on my own. It's all that I'm good for. I just wanna know if you are head sick and get the thought of me off your mind. I just gotta know if it's electric, the feeling behind those eyes, feeling behind those eyes. And she thinks that I'm too much, but I think it's just this love. Something she's never touched.
Our next performer got in by popular vote. This is With What Eyes.
No, I don't want to write a song about a mobile phone, 'cause life is somewhere else. And I don't want to cry about how we are all alone. It's not good for my health. When someone tell me where that life is? It's here, they say. But who on earth gave life that mobility? Where is earth and where's tranquility? Gone is dust and gone is mystery. How our hearts are held to their history. Now who thought it was a good idea? It's a very clever way to communicate, to communicate. I hate who thought that was a good idea. Let me tell you, life's not here. No, life's not here.
It's 18-year-old Harmony.
If I let down my guard and showed you my heart, would you love me the same? If I showed you my scars and gave you my pain, would you love me the same? Showed you my secrets, showed you the demons, love me the same. Let go of my past, give you my heart, love me the same. 'Cause I'm the mess, I'm a beautiful mess. We try so hard not to be obsessed with those voices in our heads. I'm impressed, you're a beautiful mess. We try so hard not to be obsessed with those voices in our heads. In our heads. Thought I could let it all go and be on my own. It's just not the same. Didn't realize how much I escaped. Long battle between my mind and me, it never ends. Took all out of my head to make amends. 'Cause I'm the
Our next performer is Carolina.
Cause you're driving me away, and we don't see eye to eye. You don't control me tonight, and you're driving me insane. All you do is tell me lies. You don't control me tonight. You drove me insane. You're driving me insane. You're driving me insane. You're driving me insane. Leave me by myself. Watch me out the door. 'Cause you're driving me away, and we don't see eye to eye. You don't control me tonight.
Next up, we have Molly Claire.
You're the daylight as it fades, the moon, the stars, the summer rain, the starlight as it shimmers through the trees. Forevermore. Forever. the bird song in the night, a soft breeze cold tide, the dew as it shines in the morning sun.
Our last performer of this set is Tom.
I'll lose this race if you lose it too. The fox catches the hare, and I thought it was better to prove when the smell's in the air. Well, I never and ever winding staircase plays its games, while midnight stares me in the eyes. Control the winnings ring round terrains, but now's not the time.
Well, every week here at Open Mic, we talk about originality, and that group of performers were absolutely original. 8 original songs, very, very excellent performances. The judges are going to have a hard time choosing. Chris, what did you think of our first 8 acts?
Oh, just amazing. Blown away by that. I mean, you know, just so much artistry, so much originality, creativity, had everything. And every week, week in, week out, unfortunately, we get to the under 18s and we're almost like, it's now over 18s, and there just seems to be a drop in the levels. But this week, absolutely stormed it straight out of the blocks. These guys gave us everything there. Some real noticeable sort of mentions as well. I thought Joe Tracy, I thought his original song had hits song all over it. I think it's fantastic. I love what Molly did with a church setting. It made it such a strong acoustic sound. Just would have liked to seen her obviously playing as well. And Mason the Healer, such a soulful and heartfelt performance. Just the only thing being picky about it, I would have liked to have seen him engaged a little bit more with us, to engage with us as an audience more. And a few others, you know, could have just been a bit picky, a bit sharper with the picture and sharper on the vocal. But on the whole, absolutely brought it to us. May this show continue to be as strong as that, because we're going to have a hell of a job.
Thank you, Chris. Julie.
Wow. And wow again. That has got to be the strongest start we've had from any of the shows. 8 originals and just 8 proper artists. I just thought that was incredible. And I'm already scared about the unfight we're all going to have trying to pick winners from them. I think we're going to have to, we need double winners there this week, I think. Great to see some names come up that we recognise. I'd really been looking forward to seeing Mason the Healer, because of course he certainly healed me with his voice last time. He didn't disappoint this time, but actually to a different degree, because I do remember a kind of real mellow voice last time. I thought there was a real real agility, a bit of an R&B edge to his voice. Totally agree with Chris. It would have been, you know, clearly in the emotion of the song, but I would have loved that was shared down the camera lens with us just a little bit more. With What Eyes, I kind of want to mention everybody, but With What Eyes, I don't actually remember them from the auditions, strangely, but I have to say, just something so haunting and hypnotic, beautiful, beautiful harmonies. Really, really appreciated what you did. Molly Claire in the church setting, just what a voice. I really thought there was so many hints of Birdie, so many different textures and levels with your voice. Absolutely gorgeous. I thought Tom Piner, brilliant song, but I do just worry that that was a little bit too polished and produced rather than it being kind of more of a live performance specifically for the competition. But a really great song, and I could go on, but I'm just going to say wow again because I have no words.
Thank you, Julie and Leon.
Yes, definitely. This was a very much a wow section. I think the judges have already covered quite a lot here, to be honest, so it made my life a lot easier. But yes, definitely very impressed with everyone, in this first category. Everyone's really up their game. Lots of original songs and material. And really impressed me is, everyone's performing with intent, basically. So they're really taking on board some of the critique and maybe doing their research and really putting it into practice. And we're seeing that, the fruits of their labor, to be honest. So definitely lots of great songs and great potential artists going ahead. Harmony, very distinctive voice and delivery. Really like the framing. Just keep working on what's unique about what you're doing, and just keep building on that. And also Carolina as well, likewise, similar vein, very silky tone, smooth. I would say just work a bit on your song structure just so that it progresses a bit more smoothly and it feels like there's a bit more direction going ahead.
Thank you, Leon. Thank you, judges. Hopefully keeping up the pace, our next performer is Celine.
My morning sun doesn't rise at dawn. King of the night, ruler of my heart. His light kisses my eyes. Together we shine so bright, and I wake up to a sky on fire. I let you undress my mind, don't wanna press rewind. You ignite a flame within, I was ready to give in. So why am I here alone, in the shipwreck of a love we called home? Sun doesn't rise at dawn. Drunk out his sight, his face a work of art. His work.
Our next performer is Tom Church.
Empty threats fall on deaf ears. We've heard this all before, and I thought the time and the space would be honest. Vague regrets from the better years. Forget the fact that it was never clear, and touch the breaking point, you'll hold on longest. I've been staring at your green light, blind to moment that were never mine, captivated by what we might have lost. And your diamond eyes make the grass shine. You said you missed me for the last time. I'm holding on to all this ever was. One more time, I'm fooled by my illusions in the knowledge that she won't let me down. One more line, naively drawn in bonus of the moments I don't have you around. You've been drawing these lines all over your words, and you know I should ask you for a little time. You don't want me to, so I won't. And cold resolve enough to take the place of your apologies, but it crashes down as the distance fades away.
Next up, it's Katerina.
You left me, and now I am wandering in the time to time the dark seems to clear and I start to feel again. And in times like this I learn to breathe and forgive myself again. Forever trusting you, forever trusting you, forever trusting you, and forever loving you. You left me, and these wounds hurt deep to the core of my weak heart. You left me, but I hope you're fine with that girl you now call your love. And from time to time the pain fades away and I learn to love again. And the time will come that we'll find a man that will make me to forget why I ever trusted you, why I ever trusted you.
Is Ramona Blue.
Baby, I don't wanna fight on the phone in the middle of the night. Are you home? Baby, I don't wanna fight, but I'm pressed, 'cause I'm not the only one. I'm curious, 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 curious. Running out of time, yeah, 'cause I'm mad now. Running out of love, yeah, you ain't all that now. Running out of patience, 'cause I ain't got none. Running out of love for you, yeah. Running out of room for all your secrets. Running out of space for all your weakness. Running out of lies that I can't ignore. Running out of love for you, yeah. Ooh, 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 it's so reckless. Ooh, don't make me jealous. Nah, baby, I don't wanna fight on the phone in the middle of the night. Are you home? Baby, I don't wanna fight, but I'm pressed, 'cause I'm not the only one. I'm curious, 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 curious. Running out of time, yeah, for your bullshit. Running out of stamina, I ain't got it. Running out of feelings for your sadness. Running out of love for you, yeah. Running out of room for your heartbreak. Running out of care that you ain't gon' take. Running out of questions I keep asking.
One of our first groups in the competition, it's 2020 V.
Did a full 180, crazy. I'm thinking about the way I was. Did the heartbreak change me? Maybe, but look at where I've ended up. I'm all good already, so moved on. It's scary. I'm not where you left me at all. So if you don't wanna see me dancing with somebody, yeah. If you wanna believe that anything could stop me, don't show up, don't come out, don't stop caring about me now. Walk away, you know how. Don't stop caring about me now. Don't stop yet, don't stop now. It might have worked then, but it won't work now. Don't show causing all this drama. It ain't worth time, 'cause I'm long gone now. Thinking that I always miss ya, thinking I might just kiss ya. You're lucky I haven't dismissed ya. Vision's clear and I'm stronger now. Hey, if you don't wanna see me dancing with somebody, if you wanna believe that anything can stop me, yeah. Don't show up, don't come out.
Performing an original, it's Georgia.
Once I was down in a dark place, I thought there was no way out. I was at disgrace. Although I hid you, I put a smile on my face. Somehow you could always tell I
You can't see me standing here, standing stronger, here to tell my story. And it's all because of you. And nothing is without you. Now I'm standing here, I'm standing stronger, I'm here to tell my story. And it's all because of you. And nothing is without you. You were there for me to hold my hand. You have wiped away my tears and made me laugh. And I know you found it hard, but still you stayed. And I always knew you were just that phone call away.
Next up, Sylvia.
You're dancing with her while I'm staring at my phone. Stone cold. I was your umber, but now she's your shadow of gold stone cold. Baby, God knows I try to feel happy for you. Know that truth, me and my heart will make it through. If God be God, I'm happy for you. I don't wanna be stone cold stone. I wish I could leave this, but here's my goodbye.
Here is Kelly Dale.
I've been roaming around, always looking down at all I see. Painted faces fill the places I can't reach. You know that I could use somebody. You know that I could use somebody. Someone like you and all you know and how you speak. Countless lovers undercover on the street. You know that I could use somebody. You know that I could use somebody. Someone like you. Oh, someone like you. Oh, off in the night while you leave it up, I'm off to sleep. Waging war.
Well, the original streak kept going for a little bit, and then we started seeing some covers. So I'm curious what the judges will have to say, starting with Julie.
Yes, well, we did have to address the balance at some point, or things get skewed. I do think because we've had such a high caliber of originals, it does put things it does put things into perspective a little bit when you do see somebody do a cover instead of an original. And I think at this stage, although we heard two absolutely cracking vocals on the covers there, I think no matter how brilliant the vocal, it just, I don't know, it just leaves us feeling a bit, well, it leaves me feeling a bit shortchanged, I think. So we did have we had a priority act that we did remember from last time, the girl group 2020V. Visually, I thought it was a really strong start. Again, you've coordinated your outfits and so on. I think probably at this stage you could have gone a little bit more, just a bit braver. It kind of looks a bit like more of a cabaret girl group, I would say. And I think what would have just balanced things out a little bit better, or maybe made you pop a bit more, is just if you'd been able to somehow stage this on a blank wall. Everything just seemed a little bit disjointed with the wall at the side. In terms, so the start was strong. I think the one vocalist and the moves, that was pretty strong. I think where it kind of let itself down was when all of the voices came together. Those harmonies just aren't quite locked and loaded, and it's very, very difficult in a girl group to be able to balance the volume of voices, dance at the same time, and just make sure that everything does keep that kind of feeling of buoyancy and control. So I did definitely feel that the harmonies were just a little bit clunky at some points, and then particularly in that chorus, it did just start feeling, when it was actually all in unison, it did feel a little bit too chanty. So I just think for you at this stage, I think there's definitely something there. You definitely need to work at blending your voices together. And I would really suggest that you do that by singing a cappella. Just really work on, start getting to know the textures, the tones, the volume of each other's voices, and work out where everybody sits if you are going to stay together. In terms of your vibe, I think you probably need to decide whether you are a cabaret cover act, in which case do everything that I've said and just keep everything super slick. If you want to be noticed in the industry as original artists, clearly you need to start doing something original, both with your material and also with your look. But 5 girls getting together during lockdown, I really, really commend you. I hope you've had great fun.
Thank you, Julie. Leon.
Yes. Again, another section filled with lots of really good acts, lots of really good performers. But speak on 2020V, our priority acts. Again, I'm agreeing with Julie. I think, visually it was really good, great execution, really good image. And I actually thought, whilst I thought obviously it was a cover, you're going to lose some marks for that, but actually you tried to do something a bit unique by adding the rap element towards the end of the song as well. So I thought that was quite cool. But again, it's about just, picking the lanes that you're trying to be in. You clearly look like you've got ambitions to be, a strong pop act, for commercial music, but really just got to definitely tighten up on your harmony. So just do lots of a cappella singing and just sing around each other lots, so you get to kind of understand each other's pitch, tones and resonance, etc., so that it should almost be like second nature. When you hear, whoever it is singing, you should just automatically know how to adjust your vocal so that whilst you're doing all of these things like dancing and remembering choreography, you're also not forgetting the most important element, which is the music, the vocals. And again, just on the terms of the songs, if you're not all at a point or a place where you can write great music, there's plenty of acts that are come through this competition that are writing great songs, and I guess this is a great opportunity for you to kind of connect with others at a similar stage, and maybe someone might be interested in collaborating and writing a song with you so that you can kind of help to get that full package basically. But good effort from you overall.
Thank you, Leon and Chris.
Yeah, 2020V, as much as there's been some sort of fairly cutting critique there, this is a great opportunity to take it on board and bounce back. It could be some of the best advice you've got, because I think what Julie and Leon are giving you is a real comprehensive overview of what we're doing, and I'm hopefully going to just weave in and out of a little bit of what they've said and perhaps concur, and hopefully you guys can come away and just think, there's some good points there we can work off. Actually, no, we're happy with the way we're going with this. It's for you to consider. It's for you to go away. I think in terms of the competition, I think it lacked a bit of individuality amongst the group. It lacked a bit of originality on the whole. I think obviously there's lots of talent amongst you. You can see you've worked so hard on the routine. but wasn't too mad keen on the setting. I thought looking at some of the other acts we've seen in the competition, they've been managed to find some expansive space, maybe outside. And in some respects, it's almost a little bit too coordinated, very slick, without that individual identity of each of you as artists as well. So good choreography, you know, just lacking originality vocally and as individuals, I think. And I think that Leon and Julie wrapped it up really nicely for you guys. So hopefully some really good bits to come away with from there. And just generally from some of the other acts as well, just a quick couple of mentions that, you know, Celine and Tom at the start there, I just put engagement down to start with. Both of you really not engaged with your audience, looking away too much there. And just a few towards the end, like Sylvia, Georgia and Kelly, or just way too karaoke really, do you know what I mean? Didn't do anything creative with the cover, yet you all had some lovely voices there, but maybe just not focusing on what the competition is about. And it's you as artists, find your identity and put a spin on a cover at worst. Best, try and just play around, be original with your own song.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, judges. We have one set of performers remaining, starting with Bonnie Marsden.
Did you ever think that I would never notice? 'Cause nobody's watching you. Did you ever think that I can never tell? Well, you should have known better. And all the silly little lies that you say, the truth was written all over your face. Although you broke my heart a million times, I'm finding it hard to replace you. If you were impossible to me, and if you were the answer to my dreams, it will make it all so easy. Yeah, if you were impossible to me, yeah. Now I can't give my heart to nobody else the way that I did with you, and I can't be myself with nobody else the way that I was with you. And all the silly little games that you play, and you tell me I'm the one to blame. But did you take a good look at yourself? You should have known that we're not the same. No.
Is Rebecca Traynor.
Got my driver's license last week, just like we always talked about. 'Cause you were so excited for me to finally drive up to your house. But today I drove through the suburbs crying 'cause you weren't around. And you're probably with that blonde girl who always made me doubt. She's so much older than me, she's everything I'm insecure about. Yet today I drove through the suburbs, 'cause how could I ever love someone else? And I know we weren't perfect, but I've never felt this way for no one. And I just can't imagine how you could be so okay now that I'm gone. 'Cause you didn't mean what you wrote in that song about me. 'Cause you said forever, now I drive alone past your street. And all my friends are tired of hearing how much I miss you, but I kinda feel sorry.
Our next performer is Laika.
No, it happened on a Monday. I was at the beach party so early in the morning. Not even brush my teeth. I could never let my tears fall out as he passed by my cheek. And I don't know why I feel this way. Is it me? Can I breathe? Let me be. I'm hurting, and I can see the way you're looking at me. You already know you're my reflection. Ooh, you're my reflection. I feel the breeze in my face. Breathe. I try to let the thoughts erase themselves. Can I overcome this phase? Is it a phase or what is it? Help me please, try to figure it out. What's going on? Is it me? Can I breathe? Let me be. I'm hurting. I can see the way you're looking at me.
He impressed the judges in round one. Here's Kasangwa.
When I see the sunshine, all I think about is you. Baby, please don't let me go. Oh, I need you, baby. I need you, baby. When I see you in the morning, I feel so good, baby. I don't know what you've done to me. I love you, baby. I love you, baby, baby. I like the way you shake your body. I like the way you move your body. When you turn around, let me see you work it, baby, work it, baby. When you're working on them freaking dress, ooh, you set me on fire. Girl, I don't know what I'm gonna do. You got me losing my mind, losing my mind. Your love takes me higher. I'm going out of my mind, and I don't mind what people may say.
Another judge's pick, it's Maple Ward.
My life revolves around affirmation. My life revolves around you. Affirmations of life, I'll give you all my love. Just tell me everything's gonna be alright. My life revolves around affirmations. I'm on my knees again, looking for something true, trying to focus on today. My past keeps getting in the way. My life revolves around affirmations. My life revolves around you. Affirmations of life, I'll give you all my love. Just tell me everything's gonna be alright. My life revolves around affirmations.
Our next performer is Laura Harding.
It's 3 o'clock, calling my name. I wonder if you feel the same today. Pick me up every time. I wonder if I live my life so right. I'm moving away, but I
feel you today. I'm taking the blame, but it's you I hear you say. Don't let the stars go out, don't let the sun go down, don't let my pain ruin your day.
2 performances left. Here's Chippy D.
Why must I watch you lie as a prisoner in your own shell, a warrior to the very end, a silent emperor who holds all the pain. Here we are on this empty road, we were burning candlelight that's gone into the wind. Well, my friend, we'll fly with the wind, my friend. We'll fly with the wind, my friend. We'll fly with the wind, my friend. We'll fly with the wind tonight. We'll fly with the wind. We'll fly with the wind. We'll fly with the wind. Now that you've gone away, there's an emptiness that's here to stay. My memories, they will carry on, and tears will come and go. You know I miss you so. Here we are on this empty road.
Our last performer of the night is Charlotte Louise.
No matter how hard I try, you keep pushing me aside and I can't break through. There's no talking to you. It's so sad that you leave. It takes time to believe it. But after all is said and done, you're gonna be the lonely one. Do you believe in after love? I can feel something inside me saying, I really don't think you're strong enough, no. Do you believe in after love? I can feel something inside me saying, I really don't think you're strong enough, no. Well, I know that I'll get through this, 'cause I know that I am strong. I don't need you anymore. I don't need you anymore. Oh, I don't need you anymore. No, I don't need you anymore.
Well, it's been a dynamic show 6 here at Open Mic. A lot of amazing performances. Some judges' choices have risen to the occasion. Some people who weren't judges' choices have surpassed expectations. I cannot wait to see who is going to be chosen. Let's hear what Leon has to say.
Definitely, real interesting variety. I mean, I'm just gonna go straight in and kick off, with priority acts, starting with Maple Ward. Yeah, really, I thought the melody and the riff, sounded really lovely. There was a few elements in there when your singing style, sounded almost, it was quite staccato, almost like a rap sing type of vibe that you had going on. and actually some good lyrical content, you know, talking about, you know, the affirmations and what you living by as well. So I guess there's a lot of intent, you know, that's part of your psyche that you're putting out there as well. So really good. I guess just overall, I feel like there needed to be a bit more excitement in the song, to be honest. It lacked a bit of passion, and whilst I get the tone of it should have been, you know, obviously subtle and, you know, slightly melancholy, it would definitely have been nice to just kind of find a way for us to be a bit more engaged with that, you know, whatever that kind of direction was you're trying to go into. And Chippy D, again, very creative choice of location, you know, really like that type of thinking, you know, just thinking outside of the box. But I think, unfortunately for you, you kind of lost the impact of your vocal because of the outdoors. There was no capture of it. So the, you know, the sound waves were just going everywhere and it was kind of being interrupted by the wind. You know, you're definitely an accomplished guitarist, but I also think you should be thinking about, you know, what the identity is that you're presenting here as well. You know, like what type of artist are you trying to be? And I think that at this stage in the competition, it would have been good to see a bit more thought in that kind of area, just to think of yourself and present yourself as a bit more of an artist rather than, you know, just picking up a guitar and just chancing your luck in a sense, basically. And I think a little bit of self-belief will probably go a long way for you.
Thank you, Leon. Chris?
I think Leon's given some absolute smashing comments there. Do you know what I mean? I think pretty much said what I wanted to say in a very articulate way, but very similar feedback to Maple Ward. I've got here, you know, it's a heartfelt performance. It just needed more of a hook. It just needed something more passion and energy at some time, but there was some super lyrical content in there. But perhaps for me, just didn't flow perhaps as your first round did as a song. And I feel that you're still finding yourself as an artist. And I think that probably wasn't the strongest the first audition that you did, but there's something there, there's something you've got. And I think it's just playing around and making sure that you resonate that message really early with us and connect us early and get us hooked in. And perhaps the flow and that hook didn't kick in to grab us as the first performance you did in the auditions. Chippy D, yeah, some nice thought out setting, linked in well with the song, obviously, but then the background almost became a bit of a distraction, and the picture wasn't as clear and as crisp. And you know, we can't come away from that. It's got to be the main point of the song, to be sounding visually as sharp as we possibly can. So there was just some good pointers there for both those artists, and you know, they're still developing, but hopefully now we're getting towards the back end of competitions. The semis are in a minute, that they need to just go that next leap up with their development.
Thank you, Chris. And Julie, final comments to you.
Yes, always tricky making the final comments. I think I've kind of got mixed feelings about that last group, because I think they showed so many really great elements individually, but just a lot of them just not enough to really make for an all-round, just, you know, finished performance or act. But anyway, on to Maple. So Maple, I was so looking forward to seeing Maple, because I really did remember her from last time. And I must admit, I had to look at my sheet to make sure it was actually the same girl, because I barely recognised you. I do remember last time you were kind of under a table, and it all kind of, it felt, I don't know, it felt just kind of really special and intimate, like you were drawing us in. I did feel, you know, completely concur with everything that Leon and Chris have said. I think the song has got potential in terms of, there were some lovely lyrics, but it just seemed a little bit disjointed. The connection from kind of the verse to the chorus just didn't seem to flow. And I think there was just I felt like there was a lack of commitment. It all felt a little bit diluted. And what I really hadn't appreciated was, from last time, is you are clearly a folk act. And yeah, for some reason, I didn't pick up on that. I thought there was more of a pop element. This time it seemed much more folk. And I think you need to, as we said many times before, with certain acts, I think you need to really decide which lane you're in and absolutely embrace it all in. Yeah, so that I did think was just, I was a bit disappointed. I'd wanted more. Chippy, so again, I remember you from last time. I'll remember you even more this time because that was some setting. Vocally, you know, you've got some really, really nice qualities in your voice, intensity, depth. There was definitely kind of a bit of a gravel there. But I just think, like, you know, like Chris and Leon have said, the setting was just too big for you. You couldn't, you know, even with that depth, growl and gravel, those wind turbines, just that they were too big for you to compete. So I will definitely remember you, but probably more for the fact that you performed out in the wind with those turbines rather than what you were actually singing about. So things like that are just worth thinking about. You can't lose the purpose of why you're actually singing and what the message is. But just to round off, wow, what a show overall. We are just about to start the hugest bun fight ever over these acts, I'm sure.
Thank you, Julie. We will give the judges a few moments to discuss and decide who is moving on to the semifinals and who is going to be receiving 75 votes here at Open Mic. We begin with the judges' second choices, receiving 75 votes, starting with Chris.
Well, loved him in the auditions so much that the fact that I posted it on my Facebook page because I just thought it brought a smile to my face. He did it again. 75 votes goes to Kasangwa.
Julie.
So we all really, really loved this girl, particularly loved the setting that she was in. I think we all commented that we would love to see her playing in the frame this time, but the haunting voice of Molly Claire.
And Leon.
Yeah, definitely good energy, cool image, and a great song from this one. So, you know, we're really looking forward to seeing what's in store further ahead, and that's going to be Katerina Hafer.
And now we find out the judges' first choices, moving on to the semifinals. Chris.
Well, it was such an impact, the first group in this show. We can't ignore the fact that, you know, we're pulled back to those high votes that we got. You know, can they keep the same levels going in the semi-finals? Can they bring another song that is as strong as this? But in this round in particular, smashed it out of the park. Hit song there if you get in the right studio. Joe Treacy going through automatically to semi-finals.
Julie.
Yes, indeed, that first group were very, very hard to beat. And he healed me with his voice last time. I was well overdue another dose. Mason the healer, you nailed it again. Well done.
Thank you, Julie and Leon.
Yeah, again, you know, another great performer. I guess going ahead, let's just see a bit more self-belief and a bit more energy in the vocal delivery. But this one's going to go to Ramona Blue. Well done.
Thank you, judges. We have just 4 live shows left of Open Mic. If your favorite did not make it to the next round, make sure you vote for them, and we'll see you next time.